So we're going to be doing some more work with multiplication. So check out this tape diagram that we've got right here. So what we're being asked is what expression, what math problem, describes the total value of these three equal units. So in this case, each of these is 5. So this one's 5, this one's worth 5, and this one's worth 5. So what would be the total value of all three of these? Well, we could say 5 plus 5 plus 5, but that's old school, so nope. So we're going to say 3 times 5, because 3 times 5 is the same as 5 plus 5 plus 5, or 3 5s. So what expression describes 3 times an unknown amount called A? Well, 3 times 5 is just 3 times 5, so we'll say 3 times A. So now we're going to draw our tape diagram. So we know we need 3 chunks, because we're figuring out, because there's 3 of whatever A is, and then each chunk is A. Boom. Now we're going to get a little fancier. Show a tape diagram and expression for 3 times the sum of 26 and 24. So just a reminder that sum means adding. So we're going to do our tape diagram. And once again, since we're doing 3 times, which means we have 3 of the same thing, 3 of something. So it's going to need 3 chunks in our tape diagram. And each chunk is going to be 26 plus 4, or 30. So we'll write that here, 30, 30, 30. So our expression, how we would write this as a math problem, because it doesn't just say 3 times 30. Even though that would be simpler, it says 3 times the sum of 26 and 24. So then we know we have to do 3 times 26 plus 4. But remember, we have order of operations. You can't just do anything first. So we're going to put parentheses in here. So we know that you have to do 26 plus 4 first, and then 3 times. Because it doesn't say 3 times 26 plus 4. It says 3 times the sum. So it means you need to figure out the sum first, and then 3 times that. Let's keep it going. Now we're going to show a tape diagram and an expression for 6 times the difference between 60 and 51. So just a reminder, difference means subtracting. So how many chunks am I going to need for this tape diagram? 6, because we have 6 of something. So here's our tape diagram. Alright, in 6 pieces, and each piece is the difference between 60 and 51. So 60 minus 51, which is 9. So each chunk of these is worth 9. So the whole stinking thing is 54. So then here's our expression. 6 times the difference. But remember, put those parentheses in so you know to figure out what the difference is before you start multiplying stuff. Alright, let's keep practicing. Show a tape diagram and expression for the sum of 2 12s and 4 3s. Ooh, so sum, we're adding. So we're adding 2 12s and 4 3s. Okay, so since I have 2 12s, so I've got to multiply my 2 12s, and then my 4 3s, and then my 2 answers, I've got to add them. Okay, so here is our tape diagram. And we're going to make it a little lopsided. So on one side we have 2 12s, and then we have 4 3s. Or, let's write that as 2 times 12 and 4 times 3. So 2 times 12 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12. 24 plus 12, 36. Now how we write that, and we've got to use parentheses so we know what we do first. We multiplied these together before we added them. So we're going to have 2 times 12 and 4 times 3 plus, and that equals 36. So just a reminder, those parentheses mean you got to figure that out first before you can do the stuff that's not in a parenthesis. So now it's giving us the expression, and we're going to work backwards a bit. So we're going to say this out loud. 8 times 43 minus 13. So does reading the expression this way help us solve it correctly? Well, no. Because the way we read it out loud, we totally left out the parentheses, so we wouldn't know that you have to do 43 minus 13 first. So we're going to solve it both ways. So first here, we've got parentheses, so we know to do 43 minus 13 first. So 43 minus 13 is 30, so our problem is really 8 times 30. And let's see, you know how I feel about zeros. So I know 8 times 3 is 24, and I'm going to add my 0 back in. So there's my answer for it that way. Now if there's no parentheses, then you know you have to do multiplication or division first. So 8 times 43. Well, set up 8 times 43. 8 times 3 is 24. Carry my 2. 8 times 4 is 32, plus that 2 is going to be 34. Okay, so I've got the 8 times 43 part, so 344 minus 13, which is going to be 331. These pretty different answers, so you got to be careful. Those parentheses matter. So how could we say this expression so as we don't confuse ourselves? So we say 8 times the difference of 43 and 13. And I know that seems small, but it tells you you're multiplying the difference, not the 43 or the 13. You're multiplying the difference between them. So how about this? How can we say that to make sure that people don't get confused and know that they have to use the parentheses first? Well, if we're adding first, 16 plus 9, we call that the sum. And then we're multiplying it by 4. So we could say 4 times the sum of 16 and 9. This one's going to be a little bit more complicated because we have 2 operations in parentheses. So that we know we need 3 20s and 3 5s, and then we add them together. So we're going to write it like that. So we would say it as the sum of 3 20s and 3 5s. So now we're going to be drawing some different tape diagrams. So we have 9 times 13, or 9 13s. Let's see. So there's 9 times 13. And then let's see down here. And then we have 8 13s. Well, if it's asking us to compare which is greater, well, we know 9 13s is going to be more than 8 13s because 9 is bigger than 8. Let's keep going. Alright, so, tape diagram for the sum of 10 and 9 doubled. Well, doubled means times 2. So I'm going to have a 2-chunk tape diagram. And each chunk is going to be 10 plus 9, because it says sum. And then down here, I have, 2 times 10 plus 2 times 9. Okay. So, 2 times 10, 2 times 9. Alright, so what I want you to do here is figure out the value of each expression and go ahead and compare with a greater than, less than, or equal sign right here. Once you think you figured out which one is larger, go ahead and raise your hand and we'll come check. And our last one, let's see, 30 15s minus 1 15. Okay, so it's going to be a long tape diagram. Let's see, divide that in half. Alright, so there's 30 15s. I'm not going to label these all. We know they're all 15s. And then so 30 15s minus 1 15. So we're going to scratch this one out. Go away. Go away. So this would be 30 15s. So if that's 30, then up here, without this guy at the end, that's 29 15s. And here, we have 29 times 15. So can you tell me, is one greater than, less than, or are they equal? Raise your hand and let me know.